Hey now, it's Sharon and I'm back to share another idea on how we can better policing here in the US. If you're new to the channel, I'm a retired detective. I worked for 20 years for a southeastern city in the US and I was also in the military. I'm sharing my ideas, thoughts, opinions, and experience on how we can better policing here in the US, just from personal experience. I gained a lot of knowledge about myself and who I was. And I'm sharing some of those revelations because of the ostracism and the retaliation that I went through the second time after blowing the whistle. So here's another thought. I'm going to try to keep it real quick on how we can better policing here. We need a type of civilian review board, not the people you go see when an officer is trying to get their job back or something like that. This board is just a part of the whole application process, if you will. There should be 2 interviews. You're interviewed when you first come in, why do you want to become a police officer? What things motivated you, things like that. And then there's a second interview just before you enter the academy, if you make it through. And that interview should contain questions on the community, what you think, where you volunteered, and the board should include some individuals from the very community that the officer probably is going to police. So there's a face. You can put a face, in both aspects. The community can put a face to the officer and the officer can put a face to the community. Because like I mentioned last week, in policing, going through the academy and being in the military, there was always one person that had never been around Black folks. So with the volunteering within the community, that's going to help. And then having the community as a part of the board in hiring officers. Because when I tell you, being out on the street, they used to call me auntie sometimes Sarge, things like that. But the one thing I noticed, people can read you. They will read your character before you even open your mouth. And I think that would be a good idea to have a couple of civilians from the community interviewing these officers, potential officers. And so I'm going to leave it at that. Interview, board, community members, 2 interviews, and go from there. That's the idea. And that's in my plan. And I'm sharing with you guys. So I'll leave it at that. Take a look at our online store. The link is in the description. Like, subscribe, comment if you have any ideas, or if you think it's a good idea, comment. Yay, no, yes, no. My book, here it is. My Middle Eastern Conflict, Looking Back at My Future. It's on lulu.com, LULU.com. It's $15. And it talks about the retaliation and the ostracism that I was going through and how it helped with my identity and figuring out who I was spiritually. I just wasn't a gun and badge that defined me, but it's a good book. And if you're a Christian, read part 3 first and then go back and start the book. And that's it for now. I tried to keep it short. And as is our tradition, you don't necessarily have to go through a thing to learn from it. Talk to you later. Bye.